Hi! I want to briefly talk about the documents required to get a Spain student visa, specifically for Philippine passport holders. I have personally gone through the same process and just want to help others out. Just a disclaimer, my examples are from my own experience. Everyone's situation is different, so when in doubt, please call the Spanish consulate in Manila to address your concerns. I first want to describe my own situation so you can gauge for yourself if your situation is similar to mine. Basically, I am going to Spain for my postgraduate degree. I was accepted at a school somewhere in Spain, and thankfully I was granted a full scholarship. I've never been to Spain, although this would be my third time that I'm going to Europe to study. Note though that travel history to Europe is not a requirement to get a visa, so if this would be your first time, if ever, don't be discouraged. Just gather all the right documents and apply. Don't self-reject yourself. So, what I did first was check their official website for the requirements. You can check out other websites or blog posts, but to get the most accurate and up-to-date list of requirements, go to the official site. Just go on Google and search for Spain student visa for the Philippines, and then go to the Exteriores website. This is their Ministry of Foreign Affairs. If you are studying in Spain for more than 3 months, be sure that the page you're looking at is this one. If you've already been accepted at a school or program in Spain, then you can already begin gathering documents required in this list. First things first, download the National Visa Application Form, which you can find on the right-hand side of this page. If you click this link, you'll see this PDF file. Please do not submit the Schengen application form because that's for short-term visas and it looks like this. So make sure you submit the National Application Form. Now let's discuss this requirement specifically. You will actually need 3 copies of this form, an original one and 2 photocopies. What I suggest is to already fill in one application form complete with a picture at the top right, and then just photocopy this twice so you don't have to write in the other 2. For the photograph, it needs to be a passport-sized photo with a white background, and you can go to any photo ID studio and say it is for a Schengen visa. They will know what you mean. If you can get like 6 of these photos, that would be best. Paste 1 photo in this box. Now for the application form, let's quickly run through the items to be filled out for long-term students. So write your family name, your maiden last name, only if you are married. If you're not married, then put NA or not applicable. And then write your given name and your middle name. Then here you put your birth date, but follow the European format, which is day, month, then year. Put your place of birth, as in the city, then country. Here tick the appropriate box. Here put not applicable or NA. Then here tick ordinary passport if you have an ordinary passport. Here put your passport number, then date of issue and expiration date, both in European format. Here put the issuing DFA office, so for example, DFA Manila. Then for postal, put your complete address on the first line, then your email address on the second line. You need to put this correctly because they will contact you through email regarding the status of your application. For telephone number, put your mobile number with the country code, so for example, +639, etc. Here, it is applicable only if you are currently living in another country and with a resident permit. Otherwise, put no. Then for your current profession, be honest and write down what you currently are employed as. If you are a fresh graduate, then put that down. as much as possible, don't leave this blank. For number 20, tick studies if you are applying for a student visa. Here, put your intended date of entry to Spain, again in European format. Also for this one, take note that it is advisable that you arrive near the date of the program, so not like 3 months before, but maybe 10 days before would be more appropriate. It depends on you, but of course it has to be a reasonable date. For number 22, tick more than 2. For postal address in Spain, if you already have an accommodation booked, then put that address. But if not, because you want to be sure first of the visa before booking, that's okay. For my research, you can either put the address of the school or leave it blank. For the rest of these items in this page, it doesn't apply to the student visa application, so you can put NA. The reason why I prefer putting NA is more for safety, so you can be sure that it can't be written on by anyone else and such. Now for page 3, put the name of the school or research center on number 28. Then the complete address here and the telephone number. Here you can put the starting date of the program, and this is usually in the acceptance letter and other documents from the school, so make sure this is accurate. Also, put the finishing date of the program in European format. These other items are only applicable for minors applying for the visa. After you've filled all of this out, you can read this text below, and then on the very last page, put the place you are in and the date in European format of the appointment, and then sign here as it appears on the passport. By the way, you have to sign the first page or the second page of your passport. I was asked to sign mine, so please sign the second page, the blank page of your passport. After you've filled the whole application form, check each answer to make sure everything is honest and correct, then photocopy it twice and then staple it. By now, we can cross out number 1 and number 2 on the requirements list. Number 3 and 4 are also easy requirements. All you have to do is photocopy the data page of your current passport and all your previous visas and stamps if you have them. Also remember to bring your previous passports with you, especially if they have visas and stamps already. This will show the consulate that you have honored your previous visas and did not stay illegally in other countries. If you haven't gone abroad yet or anything, that's alright, but including your previous passports with previous visas definitely makes the application stronger. So include them as well. By the way, although not required, I did also photocopy even my previous passports pages just to be sure. Now we've crossed out the 4th and 5th requirements. Let's keep going, guys! Now for the 6th requirement, this is probably the most important requirement, honestly. You can't apply for a student visa unless you have already been accepted to a program in Spain. For this requirement, then, you need to provide the letter from the school saying that you are enrolled as a student in their school, as well as provide the letter from the school containing the details of the course or the Plan de Estudios. What this looks like basically is a list of all the courses you'll be taking per year or per sem. If the school hasn't provided this yet, please ask them for it, and these letters from the school must be in Spanish, and they must address the Spanish consulate in Manila. For the 7th requirement, proof of economic means, there are different things you can provide as proof like bank certificate, bank books, ITR, international credit cards. You can pause this to see this table that I've made just to help you decide what kinds of documents you can provide for this. For my research, you have to show funds worth about 1,000 euros each month that you are in Spain. So for example, your program is for 2 years, then it would be 1,000 euros times 12 months. times 2 years, or 24,000 euros. Honestly, this one is not really set in stone. I've seen different things in blog posts, but considering rent, food, transportation, monthly medical insurance, and other expenses, I think 1,000 euros at least would be needed. If you don't agree and have a different idea for this, please comment down below your thoughts so that we can clear this out for other people. For those who have a full tuition and living expenses scholarship, like me, this would probably be written in the letters from the school. So this would be a big help, of course, in the application. This would mean that the 1,000 euros every month funding will not really be needed anymore since you already have the scholarship. Next requirement is medical insurance provided by an authorized insurance company in Spain. Just to stress to everyone, medical insurance is not the same as travel insurance. For Schengen visas, the travel insurance is enough, but for the long-term visa, you need medical insurance so that you can get medical attention while in Spain. This is generally paid for every month by you, or maybe by the school or the program, it depends. And also, it has to be an authorized insurance company within Spain. For me, my school actually provided a list of companies that my school was a partner of, so I would be sure they are good companies. And then I just contacted one of them. The company I chose, it might not be the same for other insurance companies, but I had to pay for several months in advance because I am not in Spain yet. But when already in Spain, they said that you can pay for the insurance through your Spanish bank account. For the visa application, you need to provide a letter from the insurance company saying you are insured for a specific amount for medical costs as well as other things like repatriation, and that the insurance would keep renewing until the end of your program. Just to be clear, you don't have to pay the entire amount in one go, but you may have to pay for more than 1 month if you are in the Philippines, and then it would just bill again in the future. Note also that the document has to be in Spanish. If you're staying for less than 6 months, congratulations, your documents are complete. But if you're staying for more than 6 months, then you have to provide a few more requirements. To be honest, this is the part that takes the longest time, so actually be sure to do these first probably before the others, just to be sure that you will have complete documents in time for your appointment. First on this list is the medical certificate. I actually made a mistake here at first because I was thinking that my own doctor would be the one to assess me and write the medical certificate, but no, this is wrong, and thankfully someone advised me on what to do. For this requirement, I actually found an Excel sheet of authorized diagnostic centers that you can go to get your medical certificate. To be honest, it's not just the medical certificate that you need, because you also need your DOH certification and your lab results. What I suggest for you to do is to go to this Excel file, link is in the description, and choose the one nearest your area. I chose one from this list, and thankfully they knew exactly what requirements were needed because they specialize in OFWs and especially seamen getting their requirements there. I just did a walk-in with them, but in hindsight, I think it would be better if you actually call beforehand and tell them, hey, I'm gonna be applying for a student visa for Spain. I'm gonna need a medical certificate, lab results, and DOH certification, and then see if they will be able to accommodate you. So bring your current passport and an unfilled copy of the medical certificate. For the Spain visa, they specifically require that you do not have any diseases that may have a serious effect on public health, according to the International Sanitary Regulations of 2005. So this has to specifically be written on the medical certificate. And also there should be a Spanish version of it at the bottom. Both has to be signed and sealed by the doctor who assessed you at the diagnostic center. I'm suggesting that you bring one yourself because they're very busy at the diagnostic center, so it's better for you to have already the certificate ready so that they can just sign it if they deem you healthy and if they think that you qualify for this requirement. Of course, if you don't qualify, then they won't sign it. Just a disclaimer. I was able to find a sample letter that you can use. It looks like this, so you can just type this for your own letter or use it as inspiration. On the day of the appointment, go there as early as possible so you would be first in line. They will be doing many different tests on you to test if you have any infectious diseases or if you are unfit to study in Spain. And there was even a psychological test and an interview with a physician in my case. But always just be honest in the tests. There are a lot, but it can be done in 2 to 3 hours, I believe. So just be honest, be calm, and just do all the tests on the day. After you're done with the tests, be sure to hand over the medical certificate in Spanish and English because if they deem that you pass all the requirements, then they will include this in the documents when they release it to you. Take note also that they will charge you for the DOH certification. It's not free. And this is very important for later on. The price for the DOH certification, I think it's like 100 pesos. But they charged me 200 pesos for, I guess, the processing and having to go there. But I think for me that's fine because I didn't want to go to DOH separately anymore. So if you have that option, certainly take that option so that the process would be faster. The certificate from DOH looks like this with a seal so that the consulate knows that the diagnostic center you went to is authorized to give medical certificates for the purpose of international travel. Because not all hospitals, not all doctors, not all diagnostic centers are authorized to give tests on people who are about to go abroad. So you need this DOH certificate. In my case, I only had to wait maybe a couple of days, thankfully, and they were already able to release my documents. It contained a medical examination certificate from the diagnostic center, the DOH certification with their seal, with the signature and the stamp, the medical certificate in Spanish, as well as the lab results and the lab report. By the way, know that these documents are only valid for 3 months from the date of issuance, so beyond that, these will not be accepted by the consulate anymore. You also need to photocopy all of these documents that you receive. If you want, even photocopy it twice because these will be apostilled. Moving on, you also need an NBI Clearance certificate, which also has a validity of 3 months from the date of issuance. I won't discuss any more in detail because many videos already discuss how to do this. Photocopy your NBI certificate as well, but not the personal copy because this will also be apostilled in the future. This might not be required for you, but for people who have lived in other countries within the last 5 years, they also need to provide a police or NBI clearance from said country, and it also has to be apostilled there. I was actually congratulated at the consulate because they said most people forget about this requirement and then the process takes longer. Just to be clear po, if tumira ka po sa ibang bansa within the last 5 years, kailangan mo pa kumuha ng police clearance sa country na yon and kailangan siya ipa-apostille. I studied in Europe from 2017 to 2018, and so I had to apply for police clearance there and get it apostilled. You need to have the original documents sent here in the Philippines and photocopy them as well. So please plan ahead because this may take a very long time. Once you already have your medical certificates and your NBI clearance, and after you've photocopied all of them, you also have to have them apostilled at the Department of Foreign Affairs. Firstly, what is an apostille? It is a certificate that authenticates the origin of the public document, and it is issued by a country that is party to the Apostille Convention to be used in another country which is also a party of the convention. Because Spain is also a party, we only need to have our documents authenticated by the DFA. Sa totoo lang, I think ito yung isa sa mga pinakamatagal na gawin just because the available appointments at the DFA website could be next month or 2 months pa, and so you really have to think ahead and schedule everything way before your appointment. For this one, I want to go through the apostilling process briefly so that everything will be clear for you. If I make any mistakes, please correct me in the comments so that others can see, but to the best of my knowledge, this is how you can do it in 2021. To set an appointment, go to this link, which is also in the description, and create an account for yourself. Once you are signed in, just select the office nearest your area and fill in the details here, then click Add Documents. This window will pop up. Not all branches provide expedited processing, meaning mas mabilis. So, kunwari for Asiana, 3 working days daw.
Now, however, it's moving into the central part of the nation with a couple of high-pressure cells behind it.
Okay, so here we have one NBI certificate, and then also look for medical certificates, and you will also input one there. If you want to have other documents apostilled as well, like police clearance and school documents and birth certificates, for example, you can also tick the boxes in this part. Then just click Select. Next, you will have to schedule the appointment date and time. As you can see po, sa August na yung next available, so you really have to do this ahead of time, way before the visa appointment. I won't click on this anymore, but after you submit, you will see something like this, that the application was successfully submitted. Check your email for the appointment letter sent to you by DFA. You need to print this out because you will be showing this to the guard there at DFA. They do not do walk-ins, just to take note, anymore, so you have to be sure that you have this letter with you. Also note of the warnings written here, specifically that you should never edit this document letter because it is punishable by law. Meaning po, you can't change the date of the appointment on your own. Before going to your appointment, make sure multiple copies of your medical certificate and your NBI clearance are on hand. Also, remember guys to bring a black ball pen, money, and the original copies of both certificates. You also need to bring government-issued IDs, and here are the ones they accept. Just pause the video to see. And another important thing you need to bring is the apostille application form. Here is the PDF of the form. You need to print this and fill it up before you go to your appointment. The link to this PDF is in the description as well. On the day of your appointment, be sure to be there an hour before and already show to the guard outside the appointment letter. Once they let you in, you will go to the processing window and they will ask you for the documents you want to be apostilled. For the med certificate, the lab results, and the DOH certificate, be sure to staple them together so that they will be apostilled as one. You will then be asked to pay at the cashier. There's also an option for them to ship it to you via courier. Just ask them how to get a courier option. After a couple of days, you will receive your apostilled documents. Photocopy the apostille as well, even the receipt from DFA. The very last requirement for the visa application is that all documents presented in English must be translated by a recognized Spanish translator or Traductor Jurado. It is very important to know that they are not just any Spanish translator. They are sworn Spanish translators accredited by the Spanish Ministry of Foreign Affairs. From my understanding, they are specifically trained to translate legal documents, and their translators are the only ones accepted by the consulate. So to not waste your money on the wrong translations, I was able to find this PDF from the Spanish Foreign Ministry. The link will be in the description below. This PDF shows the available Spanish translators in Manila that are Traductor Jurados. Because I am in Metro Manila, I contacted Miss Malu Ambrosio to translate my documents, and she was very friendly and worked very fast, so I can definitely recommend her. What documents do you need to have translated? For this one, it depends. What I translated were the data pages of my passports because they were in English, my bank certificate, my NBI clearance, and my police clearance certificate from Europe. Some say you don't have to have everything translated, but for me, just to be sure, I translated those that are in English. For the rest of my documents, they were already in Spanish, so no need to translate anymore. And for my translations, they only took a week at most, but it will depend on the translator. They will send you the soft copy of it, but I also availed of the hard copy so that she can put her official Spanish translator stamp on it. By the way, you also need to photocopy the translation because the consulate will get this. After this, jump and congratulate yourself. You've finished getting all the requirements. I know that there are a lot of requirements, but thinking ahead and planning everything beforehand will make things way easier. Now, you're ready for your visa appointment. It's up to you when you want to schedule the appointment, but I suggest when you have decided to really want to study in Spain and you were already accepted, I suggest giving at least 2 to 3 months for yourself to gather all the documents we discussed before. It may seem like a long time, but it will already take into account all the appointments and the long waits you need to do just to get each individual appointment. You can only schedule an appointment 3 months before your intended date of arrival in Spain. Take note that BLS Spain visa appointment slots are published a month and a half in advance. Now let's discuss the steps on how to book the visa appointment and also what happens on the day of the appointment. So, first things first, go to the BLS Spain visa website, which is on the screen, and then hover over book appointment and then select for consulate for long stay and legalization, and then book your document. Next page, under select mission, choose Consulate Manila, and then under select service, choose long stay. Confirm your country code. It is 63 by default, and enter your 10-digit mobile number. Enter your email address and then select request verification code. After clicking Request Verification Code, go to your email and look for the email from BLS Helpline and enter the 4-digit verification code on the BLS appointment page. Enter the required details for your visa appointment. All of the information needed is in your passport. Make sure that there are no periods, commas, or hyphens in the first and last names. Here, select Ordinary Passport under Passport Type. Enter the required passport details. Tick I agree to the terms and conditions. Enter the CAPTCHA. Click Submit. Once you click Submit, you will be directed to another page that summarizes your appointment. Then select Print or Email and you're done. Several days from your appointment, arrange all your documents already. What I did was I had 2 piles of documents, the original pile of documents and all the photocopies in another pile. Note that the order of the document should also be the order listed down in the list of requirements. Triple check that you have absolutely everything. Also make sure that you print and photocopy all your documents at least once on A4 paper, and for the national application form, photocopy it twice. And then, put all your documents in a long brown envelope. On the upper left-hand side of the envelope, put your surname, your first name, and your phone number. They won't accept your documents, by the way, unless you have this brown envelope, so make sure you have it on the day. On the day of the appointment, prepare 3,510 pesos for the application, all your documents in the long brown envelope, and the appointment letter. You can't bring your phone inside the consulate, so make sure you don't bring it with you. Also, bring a government ID because you will be leaving it at the guard outside. So yeah, that's it. You just go inside and give your documents and answer truthfully to all interview questions. My advice is just stay calm and honest and always be prepared with your documents. Honestly, my experience with the consulate during my visa appointment, it was very good. In fact, they were very friendly and everything was fast and efficient. So, thank you to everyone who is still watching the video. Apologies if this was really long, but I wanted to give a complete and clear explanation of how to prepare your documents for your visa appointment. I really just wanted to help others out because I had to search and learn everything on my own, but at least now I can help future applicants out. If you liked my video and want to follow my future exciting journey in Spain and Europe, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Magiging masaya dito sobra. Yes! Feel free to leave a comment as well and let me know your thoughts and your questions. Ayun, salamat sa pakikinig at good luck sa application nyo. Bye!